Hello, friends. Hello, friends of crypto, of Komodo platform, of Pirate Chain. Hello, friends of Bitcoin. Hello, friends of price charts. Welcome. We're going to get right into this. Let's see if we can do this in less than 12 minutes. That's a tall order. Here, we're going to look at three sets of markets here. Well, in fact, if we're taking into consideration the USD, then more. But anyway, we got the Bitcoin, then we got the Komodo, and we've also got the Pirate Chain. It's been a while. I want to just quickly go into it, take a look, see where we are. If you want some more details, check out previous videos. Let's see what comes up first on our radars here. So first thing here, whoops, let's change that color, is, nah, we don't even like that. Okay, so the Ichimoku lagging span coming close. All right, next, what else are we seeing here? Flattening, but candle-based movements are down and negative into the wicking territory. This is a weekly time frame. So let's see, we're on track, nothing out of the ordinary here, making continued negative momentum, but narrowing the bands. And yeah, we're just basically according to the basic expectations. All right, okay, that's where we are with the BTC on the weekly. On the daily, flying below that cloud, the price is amidst the lagging span is amidst the price here, and flirting with going below it, depending on what does the price do over here. So on a daily, our lagging indicators are showing that we might move into some negative days. So maybe to close out this weekend, we're a bit in the sideways and down on the daily. All right, could be making some new closing lows on the daily. Otherwise, could just be making some weak, reds and greens until next week. Yeah, so that's about it. Nothing special RSI wise. Okay, so that's BTC daily, and then 4 hourly. Flirting with the cloud. Ichimoku, friends. Where is our Bollinger? Have we been missing you this entire time? Well, we're on the lower end of all that anyway, and we're seeing Kumo twists ahead. So indeed, I'm sorry for this fast movement. However, if we're looking at this action over here, we're seeing this potential for the price, even like, is it even going to go even much higher? Possibly, but looks like into the 10th and the 11th. Well, I mean, it's Thursday, and there's a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday. So really, this cloud could mean nothing, and we could just blast through, and then, that's fine. But on a weekly and on other time frame scales, it's irrelevant. Look, we're going into the cloud, we're getting rejected, we're coming down, we're going back up, we get over the cloud, but it doesn't last, and we come back down, and we go back up, and it doesn't last. So right now, everything is just so sideways and down, and not. It's just not clear. Even with the RSI here, at least you could say, well, we're down low on the RSI pattern, but really, what are these moves up and down really worth? If we look at these moves here from the 25th, it's worth this and this and this and this and this. It's worth getting us basically sideways, and that's fine on a 4 hourly. If you're looking for that type of closeness to the price action, then it's great. And it's moves of, let's say here, roughly on the upside, moves of 20%. So that's good. And on the downside, right now, let's say we're around 10%. So yeah, not, unless, if you like none of this financial advice, but if you like the faster trading, then that's your game. Okay, and that's where you're playing. So now we're going to move on. That's your BTC. Let's move into KMD. How are we doing here? KMD, we are doing nicely in terms of the KMD BTC price chart. Just wanted to highlight here that the support has been very solid at this 2,300 Satoshi level. No complaints. In fact, fine, there was another attempted move up. However, it was rejected. Okay, fine. let's see, what does that mean? Does that mean that, oh, now we're just gonna keep going all the way back down? Could be, based on this type of move. That's fine. It could also mean instead that maybe there's an up move and then a sideways move and then another up move, right? These are also possible. So let's see what we do here. In the lagging indicator here of MACD, we look like we still have some room to go in positive momentum territory, especially if we can get some extended positive momentum. Even if that means basically it's the KMD BTC chart. So even if that means just kind of hanging on and working this area of 2,000 to 2,500 Satoshis, just do that. That's fine. That's what it needs. But preferably you want to get higher so that when you do come into your negative momentum, you are you're able to, you have coming from a higher high, so a higher height, so that when you come down, it's not as low. In fact, just to point out here, this line here of the 200-day moving average that we want to, this is a daily chart of KMD BTC, so we just pay attention that that's an area where we'd like to settle above and start building a longer term strength. The last time KMD was above that really was, in any significance on a daily chart level. Wow. So this feels so insignificant in some sense. I didn't even realize how far back we went. But this was that whole move from 2021 right there. So, and it was above the 200-day here during this time, but it did not hold it at all. The first time that it really came back and tested it. So we just got to play with it now. It might have to be something like going above it and then even maybe going below it again. But whatever it is going to have to find at least that type of balance. Otherwise, it will need another big move up before another, type of move down where you can settle finally above that sucker right there. That's a big target right there to hold above the 200-day. I mean, each time that the KMD price has tried, it's just not holding for any real significant time. I mean, it kept trying, just couldn't do it. It's just couldn't do it. So that's where we are. But anyway, short term, things are looking good. You want, let's see, what are we missing here? Bollinger Bands, Ichimoku. Let's just zoom in a bit. Oops. Okay, zooming in. Yeah, there we are. So looks good, sounds good. We move into 4 hours chart. And continuing to, now this is where some of that short-term action becomes points of interest. So we've gone above that Bollinger Band, we're back into it. Let's look to hold above the 20 and continue higher. That's basically the idea. Squishing between this 200 period average here in orange and this 20 period average here, squishing, and then with also this Ichimoku cloud range as the support. So that's what we're looking for, all good. And let's move that higher. And interestingly, so the BTC price level in USD went down quite enough, but the KMD chart is holding its own well. So this is a 4 hour time frame, so moving into some negative momentum. So it's definitely a pause timing, maybe some low volume or whatever it's going to be relative to what has previously happened, and all good. Everything looks quite nice. Let's move on. Yay. Okay. That's KMD BTC. Now, because the BTC USD went to 32, 33,000, we are here now with the KMD USD and at the 76 cents. So around the 75-cent level on the daily chart. Let's get right up in there and say, okay, fine. So we're breaking down of this zone. So we couldn't even really hold this zone at all. There was the 1 day when it flew right through it, came back down, held it within it, but then today, next day, July 8th, we are basically below it. But anyway, that zone is not scientific in any specific way, although it is a relatively significant zone, obviously, because we're having difficulty holding it. Okay, so yeah, but doesn't mean that it'll be the case forever. We expect to get back into this range and then above that. But the USD price is going to be reflective of the BTC price. But the fact that right now KMD is at 76 cents rather than, let's say, 66 cents is significant. That's a significant, meaning that's the difference between, you know, lower KMD BTC and a higher KMD BTC. This is a great support level. So these things are going well. So a 76 cents KMD is good based on a $33,000 BTC, considering where it came from. And here we are looking to get that support. So if you're watching 4-hour timeframes, use your Bollinger Bands with a 20 period average. So with 24-hour average and a 20 period here, let's get that as support. Okay. And then move back out above the cloud. So that's basically what you're watching for. All right. However, we do have some of this negative momentum. We're gonna continue there, right? All right. Sweet. That's KMD. And now for all you pirates waiting all this time, we're gonna make it into a R BTC and R USD. Now it looks as though things are, we're just gonna reload that. Things are sideways now, all right, on a 4-hour level, okay? It's in that sense, we've made it into a flattening, okay? So that's where that is now on a daily, that looks more significant, less of a flattening, but it's ready to play out and flatten out the structure. And then we'll figure out where do we go next. I mean, there's no doubt that the higher prices are coming, but and you know, we don't, not even based on the fundamentals, you know, of, let's say, our atomic swaps and all that stuff, but basically just based on the chart, retracements are bound to happen, and we'll get to some levels. But just to say, on the USD pirate USDT chart, it's a little bit more of a flop over. You know, the lower low is much more significant on that daily, and in the 4-hourly, you know, it doesn't have that same, doesn't have the same overall flatness as the RBTC. It has more on this sense of, you see more of like a rounding. All right, yeah. Anyway, so that's that kind of idea. Back to the getaurox charts, which fetches different data, and yeah, so it's CoinEx, but whatever. A chart is a chart, and TA is TA, and levels are levels, and so we can continue just looking at this until more time gives us more data with better numbers to it, right? But for now, basically the whole point is that things are on track based on where we thought and said. So really, it's about supporting here, 200-day at the most. Yeah, it's near clearing out. What more is there to say? Doesn't look like the RSI doesn't look like it really wants to dump, but of course it can, right? That's part of capitulation. This is a daily chart. There are still a few more days left to really round out the timing of this 39 and 39 equality that we're looking at just as guidance here. And the other thing I wanted to show and mention is still within this negative momentum redness here, but it is slowly inching. So it's coming. There is positive momentum coming. That's what I'm saying, like just based on the technicals. Now, is it going to take us above this 20-day moving average at 7,500, let's say 8,000 Satoshis here? We don't know, but we already have these zones laid out for that purpose. And let's see. I mean, it was not clear. The market it's not always clear when something will end, but generally, especially I'm learning here, hopefully you're learning something, you know, from this, or being entertained in some form or fashion here. But the market will always kind of just go that extra. It'll take longer. It'll go lower, or whatever. Even on the other end, maybe it'll go higher. It'll just do something to mess with your mind, my mind. But the thing is, and the emotions, of course, like that whole thing built in together. But the more we watch and study and look, the more it makes sense, and the more we can reason and have some successful ideas. And I find that with whatever time frame works for you, then you're able to have success on that time frame, and that's it. That's all you really need to do. Then you live a good life, right, as best as you can. You learn how to do that, and then you practice it, and it's all good. So I think this might be beyond our 12-minute time frame, but the BTC chart is looking good. I mean, unless you're panicking or something, which I don't think you are. Pirates are not the panicking type, especially those who are still holding at this point. So anyway, if you're still watching, thanks for being here. Thanks for hitting the like buttons and making comments and sharing this. And you know what? All this red, okay, for all this time, it does happen to become these greens, and that time is coming. And you know what? Either way, it's just emotional roller coasters. In this for long haul, well, good. None of this is financial advice, but I hope you're in it to win it. And let's get it, right? Good. So other than that, that's the daily. You know, on a 4-hour situation, it doesn't. It doesn't give us the exactness, but what we're going to look for here is, because we didn't see it on the daily yet, really, but we're going to look for a little bit of divergences. Whoops. So do we see any divergence here? Yeah, we see some divergence starting to play out. So there you go. Look, technicals are telling us that we are set for some change of direction. Okay, let's see. Does the MACD show the same thing? Well, it's already all positive. Doesn't show it in the same way. Yeah, well, it does if you're looking with the MACD and signal lines. If you're pulling on these suckers right here, that movement there, and that counters with the down movement in price. So there is your divergence for you. Okay. All right. That's the RBTC, and that's the 4-hour chart. And we'll be back with more on the R prices. Okay, you saw that USD stuff. It's all in the Bitcoin anyway, that USD stuff for now. Same thing with the BTC, but it shows that it wants to stay at a certain level, USD, KMD USD, and therefore the KMD BTC needs to be at a certain level based on what BTC USD is. Alrighty, folks, friends, family, farewell. Love, peace, happiness. Until next time.